Looking west of the White Springs Golf Course, and just outside the Pigsty Blood Eagle camp, we can find a recess that leads into the rock face. Let's enter. Inside, we find a cramped cave lit by lanterns. Moving down the cave, we run across cave crickets. Pushing past the crickets, we walk into a cavern. We see what looks like a scuba diver sitting on the edge of the water. On his body, we find a holotape labeled President's Eyes Only.
This here is James Addison of the White Spring Resort staff. I tell you, they never thought I was telling the truth, but I found it. I swear by all that is holy, I found it. I knew it was there all along. Okay, see, it started with the rumbling. We had some minor earthquakes. You heard me right. Earthquakes of all things in this neck of the woods. I knew something wasn't right. I was gonna prove them all wrong. All the other people at the resort just laughing at me. Well, who's laughing now? I just discovered a fucking underground spaceship and the rocket fuel leaking off of that thing. Hell, it's making even the rocks glow. I gotta tell the president. I gotta tell the president if it's the last thing I do. I'll be an American hero. Get the Medal of Honor, I bet. All right, enough talking. Time to swim back home to glory and to wiping that damn smirk off Robbie's face. James out.
So James claims to have found a spaceship. We can assume he swam back to this very spot and was taken out by these cave crickets. If he's right, we're going to find something very special on the other side of this water. Eagerly jumping in, we see that there is no air pockets. Fearing drowning and radiation poisoning, I turn back. We will soon find out that this underwater tunnel leads to a fantastical new area where we deal with spies, possible aliens, new mutated plants, and an underground communist facility. That will definitely justify James's hyperbole. Before we do that though, we need to link up with the settlers of Foundation in order to understand more about what we're going to find down here. After completing the Trade Secrets quest for the settlers, where we meet up with Penelope Hornwright, we start the quest Invisible Ties, where we are instructed to talk to Jen. After asking her a few questions about a Chinese stealth suit, she tells us where she learned of this tech.
Would you believe me if I told you I learned about it from a spy?
So Jen has some connection to spies. Continuing the conversation, she tells us how she's going to get us back in that cave.
Okay, I'll try to boil this down while sounding 5% less confusing. Let's see. We need to go take out a Liberator bot to see if it has a record of another piece of Chinese tech coming through here.
Alright, I'll bring you a Liberator.
Alright. I'll see if we have anyone around here who can help out with the next part.
See you later, I've got a Liberator to nab. So we need to find a Liberator. You know, those little robotic spider things with Chinese stars printed on them? Yeah, those are probably some of the first enemies you ran into when leaving Vault 76. So that's where we'll head to find one. Back at Vault 76, we can pick a Liberator to take. After grabbing the Liberator, we can head back to Foundation. After entering the underground, we can place the Liberator on Penelope's workstation, and overhear them talk about some technical jargon, while we stare at this orange cat.
Ah, hello again. Put that robot on my workbench, will you?
I'll be honest. I was hoping you'd have the motherlode just hanging around in your room, Penny.
Oh no, there's no room for that. Though knowing her, she may yet try to make an appearance. So, do you want the logs from this robot?
Yep. Look for an entry that begins with 58 when you're in. That should list any entries related to our target.
These logs look encoded, but like nothing I've seen before. I see the numerical headers you mentioned, though.
The entry you're looking for would have been broadcast daily since about 11 years ago. Just read the stuff in brackets at the end when you find it.
Found it. The part in the brackets says BAI2, QUAN2, YUAN2, and then the number 7. I'm afraid that's all Chinese to me. As in, it's actually Chinese. To everyone.
I, Yuan, Quan, Wai... Found it. Oh! White Spring! Duh. Why 7, though?
You see that ghoul in a red walking around?
Oh, seventh hole on the golf course, maybe. Wait, you don't.
She's nice.
Do you?
Why?
What, speak Chinese?
Problem?
I mean, it's been a while, but yeah. Wait, so my mom's last known location was
She's doing a lot for this
a
community.
golf course? I don't get it. I can't imagine there's anything spy-worthy there.
You're right.
What the heck would she be doing there?
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Yes, they were spies. My parents were spies. They're both dead, all right? I was born here. I don't know about any of that.
No, I don't care about. I mean, you're looking for spy gadgets? That's like a dream project. Can I see everything when you get back?
Sure? That'd be great, actually. It had this biometric encoding, and I think it'll work for a close relative like me. But, let's talk later. You said you're recalibrating the robot. To do what, exactly?
To find the tech if it's still nearby, and not shoot at anyone along the way. Maybe if you take it to the seventh hole, it'll pick up the signal again. I'll get the lab ready for when you get back. Be safe out there, you two.
So it sounds like we're going to use this Liberator to find another entrance. Before that, we can talk to Jen and ask her some important questions.
Wow, I feel like we're actually finally going to find it after talking to Penny. I've never been this close.
Your parents were spies. How do I know that you're not a spy?
I'm telling you that I'm not. Are you exactly like your parents?
Why should I trust you?
You shouldn't trust anyone out here. Not really. Just let my actions speak for themselves.
What's it like in China?
I honestly have no idea. I was born here sometime after the war, and I lived here my whole life. Mostly in the capital Wasteland. My parents didn't talk about it much. I know they didn't want to go back. That they weren't supposed to have me or fall in love with each other. We were just a normal family of survivors. Except sometimes my parents had to go do things. Then, one day, my mom just never came home.
Sorry, that must have been rough.
I don't think anyone's ever prepared for that kind of loss. I feel like I need to find her so I can move on, but I also don't feel ready for it.
Alright, that's everything I wanted to talk about. So,
Okay,
on top of looking
fair
for
enough.
aliens and communists, we're now going to be looking for Jen's spy mom. Alright, heading to the White Springs golf course, we get a transmission from Jen.
All right, let's get this party started. Oh, Penny showed me how to send a transmission to your Pip-Boy directly. In case you didn't know why you're hearing my voice suddenly. I'm not a ghost, I swear.
Well, we heard the Liberator drop out of our inventory, but it's nowhere to be found, until we see its head bobbing up and down in the grass, almost out of view.
It looks like the Liberator is homing in on the last known location of the tech now. Which I guess I don't need to tell you, since you're probably watching the little things move around right now. Unless you left it all alone in the world to loot something. I'd understand if you did. Robots are slow.
He certainly looks like he's on a mission.
Whoa! Hey! Lots of new signal contacts. Are you coming up on Beijing or something? I'm getting suited up now. I'll head out as soon as I can. Just try to be careful out there, okay?
This friendly Liberator leads us right to a hidden door that goes to the deep. Let's enter. Entering, we get a transmission from Penelope.
Penny here. Looks like your little robot buddy blew up. Oh, well, you must have really given it a good conk when you found it. Usually these little guys stick their landings a lot better. Jen's already out the door, but it'll probably take her a while to make it over to you there, wherever you are, somewhere below the green. You should look around. Never know what you might find. Bring back a souvenir for your best buddy, Penny, won't you?
We start to immediately notice strange plants. Moving onward, we see a pink glow, and to our right, we can look over this edge, where we find what could be described as a spaceship, like James described in his holotape. This truly looks like something out of this world, until we see, planted on the perimeter, a proudly hoisted Chinese flag flying over the facility. Before we go down to check it out, let's finish exploring this tunnel. This place is filled with a few exotic bioluminescent plants that can't be found elsewhere. Peeking around a rock, we spot something that doesn't belong, but but at the same time, something familiar. Approaching, we see a Lovecraftian horror that I and many other people have concluded is a baby interloper. If you are just picking up Fallout 76 for Wastelanders, you probably haven't heard of the Interloper. Inside of the Lucky Hole Mine, we can find a cultist base. This base hides a creature unlike any other we have seen. This creature has long lanky legs, hentai tentacles coming out of its mouth, and it bleeds a black liquid. I have a whole video on the Interloper and the Lucky Hole Mine that I highly recommend if you haven't already seen that video. I will have it linked in the description below and in the cards above. If we take a close look at this mini interloper, we can see some common characteristics, like the tentacles coming out of its mouth and the fact that it bleeds the same black liquid. The origin of these creatures is still unknown, but hopefully we will find out more in the future. Wastelanders is still fresh and secrets are still being revealed, so make sure to stay tuned for a later video. Moving away from this creature, we can head further down the path. It leads to a water cave. Using power armor so we don't drown or die from radiation poisoning, we can walk along the bottom until we reach the other side. Coming out of the water, we can see that it just leads to James's body again. His excitement was surely justified from the things that we have seen so far. Heading back to the other side and down a side path, we can find the remnants of a corpse. It looks like this was a US Army personnel. I wonder what he or she was doing down here. Did they discover the Chinese base? Was this a double agent? I think it's time we head to the facility to see if we can find out more. Moving onto the metal scaffolding that leads to the island facility, we seemingly come under fire. I'm not exactly sure what that was. Soon after, we get hit by lasers from our side. After taking out the Liberators, we can take up a position and look down and take our first look at the communist soldiers. They look to be ghoulified and carrying automatic weapons. Taking aim with our bow, we can take a shot. First shot is a hit, but it doesn't do enough damage to kill. Looks like our target is running inside, so moving down to the facility, we can further engage the communists. We find 2 communists in power armor outside. When entering, we find more resistance. Inside, we find a large but fairly empty facility with communist swag dotted around. We can find a security terminal sitting on the main desk. Notice to all personnel. To all personnel, initiate facility data wipe procedures, American infiltration detected, proceed with Operation Piercing Viper. So the Chinese forces must have spotted the US soldier we found earlier. They initiated Operation Piercing Viper, which we can assume wiped most of this facility's data. Security procedures. Number 1. All personnel should openly display a facility ID badge at all times. Failure to do so will be met with deadly force. 2. No unauthorized entry or exit from this facility without direct written consent from the director. Any unscheduled access to the facility entrance will be met with deadly force. This includes base personnel without explicit permission to exit or enter the facility. Number 3. All personnel are subject to search of their person and personal effects at all times. Possession of any unauthorized contraband will result in application of deadly force. Seems a bit harsh. Number 4. If possible, detain and interrogate subject before applying deadly force in order to obtain any relevant counterintelligence. Interrogation should last no more than 12 hours before subject is terminated. So it sounds like they had some extremely strict policies with this facility, which I guess does make sense, because if they were ever caught, they would surely be executed for treason. Tunnel status. Tunnel number 1, Mountains North, active. Tunnel number 2, Mountains Central, active. Tunnel number 3, Mountains South, active. Tunnel number 4, Mire, active. Tunnel number 5, redacted, dig in process. So it sounds like this facility managed tunnels that led around Appalachia. We can assume China was interested in this region because of all the new silos dotted around. We will learn more about these tunnels here in a bit. Leaving the terminal and heading up some stairs, we find more communists. On the body of the communist commander, we can find the PRC motherlode access key. We don't see much else up here other than the facility's living quarters, so let's head into the basement. Using the PRC motherlode access key, we can open these doors. I expected resistance, but found none. Moving down the stairs, we are ambushed by a Hornwright motherlode drill coming out of the ground. So this must have been how they were traversing these tunnels. The communists really did have a strong grip on this region, with the Mama Dulce's listening post, and now this facility. Heading back up, we can enter the auxiliary control room.
Don't. I don't want to fight. I don't want any trouble. I'm here against my will.
You don't look like a prisoner in that spy suit.
Yes, I can see why that would be confusing. Not all of us have the luxury of choice. They threatened to kill my family if I didn't work for them. From what I have overheard on these listening devices, you are working with my daughter. She's on her way here, right now. I didn't want her to have to witness the inevitable. But here we are.
Wait, I have some questions first.
So then, ask them.
What is this place? Why are any of you still down here?
This is a listening post. Our mission is complicated to explain. Unless you know what's going on next door, I could tell you more if you let me live.
So you were just following orders, huh?
Orders and a lifetime of being shaped to think and be what they wanted. I didn't question it, because I didn't know there were other ways to be. To think. We were lied to. But people here were also lied to. Once I could see the puppeteers, I wanted nothing to do with any of it. I fled.
Why didn't you just leave after the bombs fell?
I did. They tracked me down with tracers in my gear years later. I thought everything was all over. That the governments were all gone. That I was free. If I had known, I would have thrown it all away and just hoped for the best. I thought holding on to it would save my life. But I was wrong. So wrong.
Someone tracked you down? Who?
Another pre-war asset. Very loyal to the cause. They only come here occasionally to check up on us. But trust me, you don't ever want to meet them.
You were a spy before the war, too.
Yes. I was trained from childhood to do this job. It's all I knew. I never chose any of this. It was either follow orders or die.
That's all I wanted to know for now.
Fine. This ends the same either way. She shouldn't be long now, based on the proximity warnings on that console.
Hey, there you are. I'm here. I caught up. 妈，那真的是你吗？你还活着呢？ Wait, how can you be alive, Mom? Why are you here? What is this place?
Jen, why would you come here, you foolish child? You need to leave.
We came here looking for your corpse. I needed a suit, but I buried Dad with his years ago. I couldn't get it off. He was killed in it. I didn't know you were alive down here. How could I? You left. Just don't move, okay? I'm trying to think of a way where you walk out of this. Where we don't just kill you along with everyone else down here.
We can now talk to Jen and get her thoughts.
I can't believe what's happening. I was certain that they killed her, but here she is, working for them? It's too much to consider.
She's not going to give us the tech that we need. She needs to face justice for her actions.
I agree that she's not going to just give up the tech and walk away. I need to say some things to her, though.
Fine, say what you need to say.
Thanks. This will just take a minute. I can't believe that anything she's going to say will make up for abandoning her family. Why'd you do it? Why'd you leave? Did you know that Dad died the very next winter? Did you know that I'd be all alone out there?
I did it to protect you. You can't possibly understand the consequences of disobedience. What I sacrificed. You'll never have it as hard as I had it. Do you want an apology? Fine. I am sorry. Sorry that you are such a selfish and thoughtless child.
I don't see any way out of this. She's just determined to die.
You're probably right. Dying now is easy, just like leaving us was easy. Living would be the hard way.
Unfortunately, I don't have a high enough charisma to make Jen do it, so we will have to take out Jen's mother.
Yeah, you're right. Let's end this. I'll finish up here and then meet you back at Foundation, okay? I need a moment.
On her body, we find a Chinese officer's sword. Whoops. I hope Jen didn't see that. Alright, now we can head back to Foundation to complete invisible ties and acquire the Chinese stealth suit. You can unlock this plan in your inventory. There is a way to unlock this suit if you have allied with the raiders. What you need to do is increase your reputation with the settlers, and then you can buy the Chinese stealth suit at a vendor in Foundation. To end this quest off, we get a note from Jen as a reward for finishing this quest, labeled Note from Jen. Hey, I was able to find a schematic to the standard Chinese stealth suit, and I figured you'd appreciate it. It isn't as advanced as the experimental one I used, but it's still handy if you like sneaking around. Jen. So we can head to the upper level and craft the Chinese stealth suit. A level 50 suit requires substantial supplies, but it's definitely worth it. Alright guys, that's all I have on the Deep and the Chinese stealth suit. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Also consider joining my channel membership. You get a cool little cryptid symbol next to your name when you comment, and it goes a long way in supporting the channel, so thank you. Anyway, this has been Widgeon TV. Thanks for watching, guys.